And we're back with Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Queenpin, Part 3. Now, when we left off, Donovan had refused to bail Veronica out of the slammer. Angela was taking full advantage of her pregnancy and requesting special meals, and Q had discovered that Rennie staged her little roadside emergency just to get his attention. She was none too happy when Q's childhood best friend Woody came to her rescue instead of Q. When Q told Rennie that Angela and the children were alive, her response didn't pass muster. Q said, "No, she's not dead. And I'm waiting for you to say, 'Oh my God, that's so wonderful. You just found out that my wife and my children are alive, that your best friend's sister, her niece, and nephews are alive, and you're not happy?'" Rennie said, "Oh, of course I am. I'm just shocked because I thought that they were dead. Did you know all along that they were alive?" Q said, "Of course I did." Rennie said, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" Q said, "Because their safety was more important than telling you or anybody else anything." Rennie said, "Well, had I known, I never would have." Q said, "You never would have what?" Rennie said, I thought you were grieving. I thought you were in mourning. I was trying to support you through it. And now you tell me that you knew they were alive all along?" Q said, "I don't know what you thought you saw, but there was no grief or mourning on my behalf. I was focused on bringing my wife and my children home. If that looked like grief to you, that's because every day, every minute I spent away from my family had me sick. And I was hella invested in helping your brother find his wife and keep everybody safe." Rennie said, "And that included me." At that moment, the technician came over and said Rennie's car was ready, and Q said, "I need to get back to the hospital with my wife." "Oh, and LJ checked you out of the hotel. All your stuff's at the guest house at the estate." Rennie said, "What? So once again, my big brother's making the decisions for me. Please at least tell me I'll be staying alone." Q said, "No such luck. You'll be sharing it with Mom Joyce." Rennie said, "Absolutely not. I'm moving back into the hotel until I find my own place." Q said, "Well, that's fine. Since we're all safe now, you're free to leave and live wherever you want to." Rennie said, "This is so crazy. I don't even understand what's going on right now. It's like the whole world is flipped upside down." Q said, "No, the whole world is right again. I have my wife and my children back. Regina's home. LJ's cancer is in remission. Something ain't right if you can't see that all as wonderful news. I think you need to see a therapist, Rennie." Rennie hopped out the passenger side and slammed Q's door and walked away. As Q drove away, he reminisced over the last 15 or so years that he'd known LJ and thus knew LJ's family. It was obvious to him back when he and LJ were on the force together back in North Carolina that Rennie had a little crush on him. But being significantly older than her and her being his best friend's little sister made her off limits in his mind. 3 years earlier, Q celebrated his 40th birthday with a huge party. Rennie had a little too much to drink, and she said, "When you dumped Amora, I just knew it was going to be my time to shine." But no. Then you got yourself all tangled up with that girl with all them damn kids and got her knocked up. And I said, "Dang, I missed my chance again." But then that didn't work out either. And I was glad. And next thing I know, Regina said you was head over heels in love with Angela. But then you left her in Denver. And I figured 3 times the charm. Q chuckled and shook his head and said, "That's it. She cut off. Little sis, you wildin'." Q had never seen Rennie as anything more than LJ's little sister. She's younger than his little sister. And in the time that he'd known the Johnson family, it had been clear to him that Rennie's immature, spoiled, selfish, conniving, and lacking in morals, none of which Q has ever found remotely attractive. Q just shook his head as he pulled up to his destination. When he walked inside the movie theater, he told the woman at the counter, "I have a wife who's pregnant, and she has a taste for movie theater popcorn." Meanwhile, Stephanie and Pastor Corey are engaged in a rather heated debate while they're packing up their house. Corey said, "You don't get to make arbitrary decisions without having conversations with me first, Stephanie. That is not how." Stephanie said, "I'm tired of you telling me how marriage works. Marriage works however we make it work. And I'm tired of telling you that you clearly don't know who you married. You married a strong, independent Black woman. You don't get to dictate who I have conversations with and when I have those conversations." Corey said, "Okay, what is it that you think your Uncle Manny wants to talk to you about, Stephanie?" Stephanie said, "I think he wants to talk about who's going to run our family's enterprise when he's gone." Corey said, "And your plans are what exactly?" Stephanie said, "To get in where I fit in. I am my father's daughter. I don't ever want to be caught slipping again. I want to be in the know. This whole situation with the Newports might be over, but there'll be another family, and they'll be gunning for me and mine. And I want to be in position to handle it." Corey said, "So you want to be a criminal? Is that what you're telling me? You want to be the wife of a pastor, the mother of our child, and a gangster?" Stephanie said, "No, I just want to be who I am, a Lopez." Back at the estate, Anya joined the Queen Mother in the kitchen. The Queen Mother taps her on the shoulder to get her attention, and then she signed. "So you want to tell me what's going on with you and Ron?" Anya signed back, "My dear, I don't want to hear whatever it is that you have to say about my decision." The Queen Mother said, "I'm sure you don't, because you know you're wrong, right?" Anya said, "How can I be wrong when this is my life? I don't want to be a mother. My life is complicated and difficult enough without children." The Queen Mother said, "I feel like I failed you. I was so focused on keeping you ingratiated in my world that I didn't expose you to enough people in yours. The deaf community is large, and they have a proud legacy where they embrace what makes them different, and they don't shy away from any of the things that life sends their way. I feel like you've missed that." Anya said, "I didn't miss anything. The deaf community is delusional. There's nothing to be embraced when it comes to having a disability, especially when my deafness is genetic." The Queen Mother said, "Is that what this is really about? You're afraid that you're going to give birth to a deaf child?" Anya said, "That's part of it. The other part is, I don't want my child having problems understanding me." The Queen Mother said, "Baby, all children have problems understanding their parents, whether they can hear or not. You do know that babies aren't born talking, right?" Anya said, "But I won't be able to hear my baby cry." And then she listed all of the things that she was afraid of. The Queen Mother listened, wrapped her in her arms, let her cry, and then said, "I'm going to call your godmother, Nadia, and I'm going to let her talk to you. Before you seal the deal on this whole breakup with Ron and close the casket on the idea of being a mother, hear your godmother out. She's been where you are." Just as the Queen Mother and Anya pack up the food for Angela, Donovan walks in. He says, "My dear, before you start, I'm not bailing that girl out, and I don't want any of y'all to bail her out either. Stay out of this. This is none of any of our business. Our focus should be on baby Bella, and I got her." The Queen Mother said, "Boy, you couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the instructions were on the soles." Donovan said, "Wow. So now I'm stupid, Ma? Okay. Okay." The Queen Mother said, "No, you're not stupid. You're just clueless." Pops Andy walked in the room and he said, "Son, I'm glad you're here. Tomorrow, you and I are going to take Michael fishing for the first time." Donovan said, "Fishing? What?" Pops Andy said, "It's time that we take that young man fishing. You remember your first fishing lesson?" Donovan said, "Yeah, you said that was the day I became a man." Pops Andy said, "Right. Well, it's time that we welcome Michael to manhood." Pops Andy looked at the Queen Mother and said, "Baby, will you watch the children tomorrow while I take my son and my grandson fishing?" The Queen Mother said, "Sure, baby." Donovan looked at them and said, "I don't know what y'all up to, but I'm still not bailing Veronica out." Pops Andy said, "No problem, son." Donovan collected the food and headed outside to his car. When he got outside, he saw Rennie packing her trunk at a feverish pace. He walked over to her and said, "What's up, little sis?" Rennie just kept filling the trunk. Donovan said, "I'm talking to you. What's going on? Where you going?" Rennie said, "I am not staying here." Donovan said, "Do our brothers know you leaving?" Rennie said, "Our brothers don't control me. Well, maybe your brother controls you, but mine and yours don't control me. I'm grown. I do what I want, and I can stay wherever I want, and I'm not staying here." Donovan said, whoa, okay. Well, have a good night. When Donovan got to the hospital, he told Q all about his little run-in with Rennie, and Q just shook his head. Angela said, over a mouthful of popcorn, "She probably doesn't know that Stephanie's moving into the estate too. You know, Stephanie didn't even want to move in when she first moved to Dallas. Her and Rennie have always had this thing about being independent and hated being the little sisters. I'll have Stephanie talk to her." He said, "Don't worry about it, love. I think you've had enough popcorn though. Let me get that." Angela said, "Donovan, I had a taste for movie theater popcorn, and your brother, my wonderful husband, went to the movie theater and got me some." Donovan said, "Well, I hope you're going to put something else in your mouth to thank him." Q said, "All right, that's enough. Go on and head out." And Angela almost choked on the mouthful of popcorn. Q walked Donovan out and told Angela, "I'm going to head down and talk to LJ. I'll be right back." When Q left the room, Angela called Stephanie. When she told Stephanie about Rennie's refusal to stay at the estate, Stephanie said, "It's probably because she got this new little boyfriend that she don't want nobody to know about. She probably figured she can't bring him to the house and get her groove on." Angela said, "Boyfriend? Rennie? She usually the hit him and quit him type." Stephanie said, "Exactly. And the fact that she being so hush-hush about his identity tells me that he probably somebody that we know. But don't worry. I'll call her and let her know that we're all moving to the estate and that she should just stay put. And if she doesn't want a room with Mom Joyce, we got plenty of other rooms in the main house." Angela said, "Thank you. I'm sure that will make LJ and Regina feel so much better." Meanwhile, Q headed down to Regina's room to have a little powwow with LJ about his little sister. When Q tapped on Regina's door, LJ stepped out into the hallway. Q said, "Bro, Rennie, something ain't right." LJ said, "What's up?" Q said, "Apparently, she's been manufacturing emergencies to get my attention. Now, I know she used to have a little crush on me or whatever, but at this point, I think it's bigger and deeper than that. When I told her that Angela and the children were home, instead of her being excited that they were alive and happy, she seemed upset." LJ said, "What? Come on now. You like a brother to her." Q said, "That's what I said. And she told me that she is not my sister. You're going to have to get her to see somebody before we have a repeat of that little situation that she went through when she was in college." LJ said, "Nah, bro, I don't think she would go that far again."